You have selected the full training mission. Your aircraft starts in active pause, at 40 nautical miles from the fleet. The U.S. Navy defines 3 different types of recovery to a carrier, depending on the current weather conditions. Case 1 is a daytime visual recovery flown when a cloud deck is higher than 3,000 feet and visibility is greater than 5 miles. On this mission, we will learn how to do a Case 1 recovery on the Boeing T-45C, following the procedures of the NATOPS flight manual. This training mission includes the following sections: set of TAC and define the carrier, pattern entry and pattern, recovery and wave off, shutdown. Please, be aware that you can press spacebar to interrupt long texts. We have just unpaused the simulator. Please increase the throttle to keep a speed of at least 300 knots, and trim the aircraft for stable and level flight. We will use our TAC and receiver to get our fleet's bearing. First, power it on with the highlighted switch. The Stennis TAC channel is 74 X-ray. To tune the station 74, right-click on the center of the tuning dial, until a 4 shows on the TAC display. Good. Now, right-click on the outer part of the tuning dial, until a 7 shows on the display. It should read 74. We will use the right multifunction display to show the HSI page, with the TAC and navigation information. Click the highlighted button, to select the HSI page. Good, the MFD is now displaying the HSI page and we have paused the simulation again in order to better explain the TAC and symbology. Now, click the TCN button, to enable the TAC and navigation mode. The TAC and station symbol is on the HSI periphery because it is farther than the current display scale. Use the SCL button to select a scale of 80 nautical miles in order to see it clearly. The aircraft symbol appears fixed in the center of the display, heading upward, representing our airplane. Below it, our ground speed, wind direction and speed are shown. This is the TAC symbol, displayed when receiving a valid TAC signal. It indicates the position of the TAC station relative to the aircraft symbol on the center of the HSI. On this case, it corresponds to the position of the Stennis carrier. TAC pointer and tail are displayed when TAC steering is selected. They indicate the bearing to the selected TAC station. The pointer appears as a triangle with a line inside it, and the tail appears as a solid rectangle, both located outside the compass rose. This is the TAC data. Indicates the bearing, range in nautical miles, and time to go, to the selected TAC station. This line indicates your aircraft heading on the compass rose. The line going through the TAC symbol is the planimetric course line. It indicates the selected course to the TAC station. Appears only in the planned steering mode with CRS selected. Currently, the selected course is 0 degrees, so the line is oriented towards the north. The actual course of the Stennis fleet is 10 degrees, so use the highlighted buttons to change the value to 010. This will have the line represent the direction from which we want to approach the TAC station. However, on this particular mission we don't really need to use this course. Okay, now that you know how to interpret the TAC symbology on the HSI, we have unpaused the mission. Turn your aircraft so that the TAC symbol is towards the 12 o'clock position. This will set you on a course towards the carrier. The carrier holding altitude assigned to our flight is 2,000 feet. Start a descent. so that you reach that altitude by the time we reach 10 nautical miles from the carrier. Set the low altitude warning system Q to 2,000 feet on the data entry panel, to get a warning if we get below that level. Remember to use the trim hat on the hose, to make more subtle changes on the pitch attitude of the aircraft. The key commands are: trim nose up equals right plus control plus stop. Trim nose down equals right plus control plus semi-comma. If you want, you can make use of the time acceleration feature of DCS. Accelerate time. Lift control plus C. Time normal. Lift shift plus C. Make sure to have the aircraft in stable flight before accelerating time. Don't maneuver the aircraft while on time acceleration. Return time to normal before touching the stick. Also, you can use left control plus Y, to enable the bottom status bar, as it shows on its right corner the time acceleration factor in red. You are now at 20 nautical miles from the carrier and your altitude is still over 4,000 feet. Reduce altitude, so that you arrive at holding altitude of 2,000 feet by the time you get within 10 nautical miles from the carrier. You are now at 10 nautical miles from the carrier and the fleet should be within sight. To enter the recovery pattern, alter your heading, pointing towards the trailing ship of the fleet, to the right. Reduce speed and altitude, so that you arrive over that ship at 250 knots and 800 feet. You are now just over the trailing ship, turn hard left. The carrier heading is 10 degrees. Fly parallel to the carrier, at 250 knots and 800 feet, aim for the ship that is just ahead of the carrier, to its right. At that point we will initiate the brake maneuver. Extend the tail hook, using the HOTAS or by clicking on the highlighted lever. Initiate a level brake to the left. Strive to maintain 800 feet until you have completed the brake. Extend landing gear and flaps. Speed should be 225 knots. Descend to 600 feet and attain optimum angle of attack speed. Check speed brakes. Heading 185 degrees. Quickly complete the landing checklist. 1. Gear. Confirm it's down. 2. Flaps, slats. Check full flaps. 3. Hook. Confirm it is in down position. 5. Speed brakes. Check they are extended. 6. Anti-skid. Confirm it is off. Now turn left, towards the ship just behind the carrier. Maintain optimum angle of attack speed, descend to 500 feet. Now turn left to enter the groove. Maintain optimum AOA speed. Touchdown. Power to max, retract speed brakes. When the aircraft arrestment is ensured, retard the throttle to hold the wheel brakes to prevent the aircraft from moving and raise the hook. Use high-gain nose wheel steering at approximately 70% power, to expedite exit from the landing area. Taxi out of the landing area as soon as possible, to let other aircrafts land. For the T-45C, there is no interaction with the plane director, so you should locate a free spot to park and taxi there by yourself. Press spacebar once you have cleared the landing area. While taxiing, retract the speed brakes. Press spacebar once you are at your park spot. Please, Press backspace if you want to learn the shutdown procedure, or press spacebar if you prefer to end the training now. Once at your parking spot, perform the following checklist. 1. Ejection seat safe armed handle. Set to safe. 2. Speed brakes. Confirm they are retracted. 3. Flap slats. Set to their up position. 4. Trim. Set to 0, referring to the gauges. 5. Navigation equipment and IFF. Set to off. 6. Heads-up display. Set to off. 8. Strobe lights. Confirm they are set to off. 1. Parking brake. Set, by clicking its handle. 8. Multifunction displays. Turn off both displays. 9. UHF and VHF radios. Set to off. Before shutting down the engine, ensure the throttle has been at idle for at least 30 seconds to cool the engine. 1. Throttle. Set to off, by clicking its finger lifts. 2. Canopy. Open, by clicking its lever. 45 seconds after setting throttle to off. 3. Batteries 1 and 2. Set to off. 4. All remaining switches. Set to off. 5. Engine switch. Set to off, front cockpit only. Congratulations, you have successfully finished this training mission. Press spacebar to exit the mission.